So the name of this story is Ambush a la Carte. So I asked for a chainsaw. Is that so weird? It was the only thing I wanted for Christmas. And you know what my mother gave me? A ton of gold jewelry. Mom, in Alaska at 60 below, if any metal touches my skin, it burns the top layer off. My mother glared at me with such intense disapproval that I was so accustomed to, I could just hear what she was thinking. How could I, Ruth Hubbard Cousins, a beautiful and successful executive in the nation's capital, have a daughter who never played with dolls, never wants to marry, and insists on dressing like a man? Okay, Mom, how about you return the jewelry and I'll buy my own chainsaw. Now, I should have known better. A few years earlier, for my college graduation, she gave me Wedgwood china. 8 place settings of Wedgwood china. And the box was so huge, I just left it with Mom, and in the summer of 1972, I took off for Alaska, which was about as far away as I could get from Virginia without a passport or a plane ticket. Now, in Alaska, I was there, I wanted to just kind of discover myself. I wanted to find freedom and a place where I could be myself and yet also feel like I belonged and I fit in. And I ended up falling in love with a woman. We built a cabin in the wilderness, completely with hand tools, and we called ourselves the Klondikes. This was not the kind of coming out my mother had dreamed of. Years later, when I met the love of my life, Alice, one of the ways that I knew that she was the one was because she was able to endure my mother's periodic attempts to split us up or at least make our relationship invisible. Now, at one particular family gathering, I asked my sister in advance to please call our Aunt Mary Jane and just casually mention that I would be there with my partner Alice. Now, I just wanted to give Mary Jane a chance to have whatever Southern Christian conservative reaction she was going to have in the privacy of her own home. Not that Mary Jane would have been nasty. She was actually as sweet and down-to-earth as the shoe that shares her name. So Alice and I, when we came into the restaurant in North Carolina, the lobby of the restaurant where we were having this family reunion, we come in and my mother and my sister Carol are standing there talking with my Aunt Mary Jane and her son, my cousin Ronnie. And he was tall, thin, and very sensitive looking. So we go up, we hug and whatever, and then I say, oh, I'd like for you to meet my partner Alice. And Aunt Mary Jane looks like I just clubbed her over the head. And she's staring at Alice, trying to make sense of what she's seeing. I said, Aunt Mary Jane, didn't Carol tell you that I was coming with my partner, Alice? Oh, I thought she said Alex. So at this point, my mother begins to wring her hands, and her eyes are darting all over the place, and she's just like desperately looking for any way to get her mind away from the L word. And then all of a sudden, she brightens. Alice, why don't you tell Mary Jane about your family's experiences in the Holocaust? Alice froze. You know, her images of her German Jewish family on both sides, you know, fleeing from the Nazis, went through her head, and snippets of stories that she had heard about the aunt that she never knew, because that Alice died in Auschwitz, along with most of the rest of their immediate family. I reached out and I squeezed Alice's hand as I wanted to comfort her and I wanted to rescue her, but my mother's ambush had paralyzed my usual knack for rapid retorts. I couldn't think of a thing, and I looked around and everybody was very still and looking looking at the floor. And I didn't know what to do, and then I heard Ronnie clear his throat. And after that, Alice, I'm going to tell you about my most excruciating experiences in therapy. The laughter burst out of us, and it was just like so loud that we almost didn't hear the hostess calling out, "Party of 12, your table is ready." And so, relieved, we filed into the dining room, each one of us looking